We're going to talk about change of status through consular process. We're going to discuss what it is, who can apply for it, what are the requirements, and how the process goes once you've started. Join me. My name is Andres Mejer, and I'm an immigration attorney and an immigrant myself. I came to the U.S. as a child and couldn't speak English. My parents paid an immigration attorney to help us get our green cards, who not only didn't help, but wasted our time and took our money. My parents couldn't get a job or even a driver's license legally. If you can think of any mistakes an immigrant can make, trust me, we did it at least once. We lived without legal status for almost a decade. So I know how stressful that is. And even after I got my green card, I almost lost it because I wasn't well informed. In fact, my father and my sister did lose their green cards. I was just fortunate. My goal is to help you avoid all these mistakes and bad experiences. That's why I do what I do, and it's why I create these videos. To spread information and give immigrants knowledge that they will need to deal with the immigration system and help them solve their situation. If you need help with your immigration issue, give us a call. If you get value from these videos, please like our page, subscribe to it, and share our videos with others. So, change of status through consular process. Well, what is that? Well, consular process, generally speaking, what we're talking about is a family-based application, although it could be an employment-based application. But for purposes of today, we're going to use the consular process as if it was a family-based application. But just understand, it really doesn't matter. Why? Because there's going to be 2 or 3 different steps. When you get your green card, that's the consular process part. So if there was an employment application that needed to be filed and reviewed and approved, that already happened. If it was a family-based application, that also already happened. You filed for it, it was approved, you waited for a visa, or a visa was immediately available and you were able to go through the consular process. For purposes of today, we're going to use an example, a application, because it is most common. About 60% of all green cards issued in the United States are through family-based applications. Now understand, there's 9 principal ways to get legal status. One of them is family-based application, and employment is another. And despite all of that, 60% are through family-based applications. So family-based application, that means a relative of yours is filing for you. Typically, that means your spouse, your parent, your child, or your sibling. So that petition is filed through an I-130. It gets approved, and then you either have a visa immediately available because the person who filed for you is an immediate relative, or generally means a U.S. citizen. There's other requirements, but at least they have to be a U.S. citizen, or they're not a relative, and a visa is available for you. Once that happens, then begins the consular process. So for an I-130, well, for our clients, let's take a step back. If the immigrant that's looking to receive a benefit is inside the United States, the first thing we do is a background check. We want a fingerprint. We want every piece of paper that the government has, or every relevant paper that the government has on the immigrant. We want to see it. We want to review it. We want to make sure it's not something that makes you ineligible. Consular process, what does that mean? It means you're going to change your status outside the United States. Now, either you're outside the United States today, or you're inside the United States and you will have to leave and come back. But either way, you can't change your status inside the US. So in the family-based context, there are 2 principal steps that need to be taken. First, document the relationship. That's the I-130, to prove that your father is your father, your mother is your mother, your child is your child. Whoever it is who's applying for you is a relationship that the government approves of in order to provide an immigrant benefit like a green card. So document that relationship, prove that relationship, and then once that's available, you then go to the change of status. Change of status either happens inside the United States, that's called adjustment of status, We will talk about that process on another day. The second way is consular process, but it's one of the other. You're either changing your status inside the US or you're going to change your status outside the United States. So for today, we're talking about consular process. Now, requirements are that the I-130, meaning that the relationship has to be approved, or if it's an employment-based application has to be approved. A visa has to be available. Then you're going to need to file. You're going to need to go through the consular process. So what that means is your documents get sent to the National Visa Center. National Visa Center will send you notification. You'll have to pay a fee. It's about $420 at the moment. And you'll have to fill out some forms, DS-260, I-864. So the DS-260 is Department of State application. The I-130 or the employment-based is handled by the office or the agency of USCIS, that's United States Citizen and Immigration Services. Whereas consular process is you're at an embassy or consulate, which belongs to the Department of State. So you're gonna be filling out information to the Department of State. And you're gonna be providing financial information for an affidavit of support, meaning you're not gonna be a public charge. So the consular process, in this case, is when you're being evaluated to determine, are you ineligible for some reason? And that is what the government is looking for. Let's look at the steps. There we go. So step one, as I was saying before, we do a background check. Step two, we gather all the documents to prepare the I-130. So birth certificate, passport, how to prove the relationship, how to prove that you're a good person. So is it your parent? Obviously that was your birth certificate, photos, letters, financial information, just to show that you're not ineligible and that the relationship is legitimate. Then that package gets mailed. USCIS will send you a receipt. That's step four. You will then get fingerprinted, your biometrics. You will then get an approval notice for step five. Once that's approved, and then you're going to have to wait for a visa to become available. Once a visa is available, you're going to get information from the National Visa Center, where you will then have to prepare the DS-260, upload those documents, and pay the fee. Then you are going to get an interview date, which case you will have to travel to the US Embassy or consulate in the country that you chose. Before that appointment, you're going to go to your country, you're going to get a medical exam by a civil surgeon in that country, and you will be provided a list at the website of the embassy or consulate you're going to, and you're going to have to do a criminal check in your country. You will then show up at the interview at the consulate, not USCIS, forgive me, that's a mistake. And hopefully you'll be approved right then and there and be able to travel to the United States. So that is adjustment through consular process in a nutshell. You need the employment-based or the family-based to be approved. You need a visa to become available. You then need to fill out an application, the DS-260 with supporting documents, and the I-864 with supporting documents. You will get an interview notice. Before the interview, you will do a medical check and you will get a criminal background check. If all those go well at the interview, it should last no more than 5 or 10 minutes. You then get a stamp on your passport and you are now a green card holder. You can then travel to the United States. Once you travel to the United States, you then pay a fee and you will be mailed a physical green card. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this show. Please, if you found this of value, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Till next time.